Awesome. I was right. They needed to be facing the walls, not the actual directions of the compass. Weird. Wow, what the? Where'd we go? Ah! This is super cool. I love secret passages. This is actually one of the reasons why I've been so. See, I've always had a fascination with secret passages, even when I started reading the Nancy Drew book series. And so to actually be in them when I play the Nancy Drew games, I'm always so psyched. Even if it's tunnels that I've been in before in the games. I'm always repeating the. Ooh, what the. Huh? What? Huh? What? Huh? Wait, why'd we keep that photo? Wait, where are we? There's the door back. What's this? No, let's not go through there yet. What is this place? Why is there a line down there? What the heck? Ooh, I hear mice. Alright, so let's see. Copper's number, Shake Die, Black Tuesday, 14th Saints Hotel Fire, Uncle Clayton died, MM pinched. MM pinched? Oh, Mickey Malone pinched.
It could be mice making that sound.
The doy. Okay. Oh, the gloves and the mask are combined. I did not notice that before. Alright, so I guess we do have to leave. What is this?
William Akers? I wonder if he's related to Jeff Akers.
Probably. Let me read the article first. Thoughts on Thuggery by Ethan Collier. The truth about Mickey Malone, as told by his most trusted employee, William Akers. Huh. Mr. Malone has never spent a night in jail, and he never will, said William Akers. And you know why? Because he's just an ordinary Joe trying to run an ordinary business. He said this with such conviction. For a moment, this reporter honestly thought Akers was talking about somebody other than Mickey Malone, the notorious gangster. But I was standing on the porch of Malone's getaway home at Moon Lake, having bushwhacked through thick brush from the east side to avoid the lake from the east side of the lake to avoid detection and probable eviction by his bodyguards. And I was talking to the man who, according to the police, is the only person Malone trusts. I ought to know. I see him every day, Akers went on. He doesn't deserve all the grief you newspaper hacks give him. He's a rich man because his laundromats are fine establishments, and people like to wash their clothes there. All this talk about him being a bootlegger is just plain hogwash. When I asked if I could talk to Malone, Akers said Malone was out walking. Like I said, he's an ordinary guy who likes to do ordinary things. When I asked if I could wait for him, he said, "What for? Anything you want to know about Mickey Malone, I can tell you. I've worked for him for 15 years. When I said all I wanted was the truth, then he said, "Then you're in luck, because that's what I just told you. And now I suggest you leave. Mickey's a swell guy, but he's got these 4 big dogs, see, and sometimes they don't mind so good." I took the hint and left, but as I struggled through the brush to get back to my car, I realized something. Akers hadn't told me the truth about what Mickey Malone did. I knew that. But he had told me an important truth when it came to what Mickey Malone was. Someone who had at least one extremely loyal employee. I ask you, good citizens of Philadelphia, how many so-called legitimate businessmen can say the same thing? Wow. Hey look! Houdini! Wait, when was that dated? October 9th, 1927. Wow. Philadelphia Gazette. Wow. I wonder if I can actually find that somewhere on the internet. Whoops. Philadelphia. Can I spell something right for once, please? Thank you. Philadelphia Gazette. And what was it? October 9th, 1927. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah! Woohoo! Well, that was fun. Actually, considering, I want to go back to Red Knot, see if we can finish that conversation. See, I'm quick. I'm quick.
How's the bird watching coming along?
I'm sorry, but finding those birds is harder than I thought it would be. Can you give me any tips?
You gotta look for them. This isn't gonna be any Sunday
I
picnic,
know.
you know? And try early in the morning. That's when most of them are singing.
I know it.
See you in a
Thing is,
while.
Shh, down a notch. Remember.
I want to punch him so hard. It's a good thing I know a bit about fighting. Alright. Because I do not punch like a girl, I punch like a man. One of my coworkers knows that for a fact. And that's kind of because he gave me a couple of tips. Oh man. That guy is crazy. But no crazier than me, I should say. I feel bad for the guy considering the news he told me recently. Where are we going? Here. Woohoo! Hiya, Em!
Howdy, Nancy.
Any word from Tucker, what's his name? He hasn't been by to move that tree yet.
I'll give him another call. But like I said, the man marches to the beat of another drummer. A very slow drummer.
I found this picture in Sally's house. Do you recognize anybody?
I'm guessing the guy's Mickey Malone, but I don't know who's that lady. Sounds like a case for our resident know-it-all Ranger
I
Akers.
know, right?
I found an old newspaper in Sally's house that contained an article on Mickey Malone. It really got my curiosity going. What else can you tell me about him?
Person you should talk to is Jeff Akers. He's got this historical museum thing going out at that ranger station.
Alright, we do not need to ask this question because we've already been there.
To make a long story short, I need some camouflage gear.
Got some right over here. One size fits all. But I'm running kind of low on bait. So if you go out and get me, say a dozen little critters, I'll give you the camos.
You got a deal. So, what kind of bait do you need?
Worms, spiders, beetles, grubs. Anything that wriggles on its belly'll do. Just look under stuff. Rocks, logs, dead leaves. Should be able to find 12 in no time.
Do I need some kind of permit?
Things ain't quite that bad around here. Least not yet. Now, if Jeff Akers' daddy was still around, you might get arrested for cruelty to animals or some such nonsense. Joe Akers used to be the deputy sheriff. Real critter lover, that one was.
Joe Akers is Jeff's father?
That's right.
Guess I'll see you later.
Keep on trucking.
Keep on trucking. Oh, yeah. Alrighty, so since she hinted at Jeff Akers about the picture, then let's go ahead and go over there and talk to him. You never know. Man, we are progressing this game like nobody's business. Woo! Alrighty, Jeff. Hey, where'd your dog go? There it is. That's a continuity. Hi, Dougie.
You're back.
I noticed you have a dog.
That's Yogi, who never goes out unless he's on a leash. Park rules.
Do you have any other dogs?
I hope you're not suggesting I trained Yogi to run around in the middle of the night barking and attacking houses.
Nope, because he is not a Rottweiler. Thank you very much.
I found a newspaper dating back to 1927 in Sally's house. Since you're kind of an expert on the history of Moon Lake, do you mind if I ask you some questions about Mickey Malone?
Not at all.
Let's see.
What do you know about a man named William Akers?
I know that he was Mickey Malone's right-hand man. I also know that although we share the same last name, He and I are most definitely not related.
Liar!
I found this old picture in Sally's house. Do you know who these people are?
The man is Mickey Malone, I know that. I'm guessing that this is his girlfriend, Vivian Burnett, I think her name was. And judging by the year of that brand new Ford in the background, I'd say the picture was taken in 1928.
A year after that article was released? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to whistle. She was probably familiar with his dogs as he was. Really? And who would be the best?
She was probably as familiar with Malone's house and his dogs as he was. Think there's any chance she's still alive?
Tell you what, Miss Drew. Why don't I go through my files and see what I can dig up on this mystery woman? I'm a busy man, but
Booyah!
like I always say, I'm here to serve.
Ow! Alright, so let's see.
When and why was Malone arrested?
I'm sorry, Miss Drew. As usual, I'm a little pressed for time. If you have more questions, why don't you sit down at the computer and peruse the Moon Lake database of fascinating factoids that I've put together?
What happened to Akers and the rest of Malone's gang after he went to prison?
Fortunately for Moon Lake, they all left and went their separate
Aw,
ways.
that's a bummer. No, not again. Oi. Man, if this weather wasn't making the building so cold, my heater would not be making that sound.
Have you gotten the results back from that water sample I left with you?
I meant to call the Department of Health today for a status report, but frankly, I've been way too busy.
How long have you been the Lone Ranger here, as it were?
6 long, very frustrating years.
6
If
years?
I were in charge of just 10 more acres of parkland, they'd give me an assistant, and I could devote more time to the acquisition of more land and eventually put Moon Lake on the map as one of the biggest, most popular parks in the state.
I highly doubt it. Because 10 more acres and you'd still be too busy.
Why didn't the Parks Department buy the Malone property instead of Sally?
She outbid them, the cheapskates.
Well, if those dogs scare Sally away for good, other people are bound to think twice about buying the place. The bank will lower its price, and you'll have your land.
You're insinuating things again, Miss Drew.
I'm sorry, I really am. It's just that Sally's my friend, and I'd really like to find out why someone's doing this to her.
Tell you what, if you're serious about making amends, there's some boxes by the computer labeled with dates.
Yes!
They're from the estate of a local history buff. She kept everything from newspaper clippings to old photos to recipes for apple crisp. She put everything in
Local
envelopes,
history buff?
then numbered them by year using Roman numerals. Just put the envelopes in
Roman
order by
numerals!
year with the earliest date in front. Oh, and if you're rusty on Roman numerals, there's an entry on them in the
Oh, that's
computer.
right. I forgot about that.
Okay if I read what's in the envelopes?
Don't go reading anything until you're through, or take my word for it, you'll never get finished.
I've been trying to take pictures of birds for this guy named Red Knot. Ever met him?
Oh yes, the Birdman. I'd stay away from him if I were you.
He seems pretty harmless to me.
He's a fanatic. He's got it in his head that Moon Lake would be the best birdwatching venue in the world except for one thing. Too many people. Believe me, if there was a way to get this park shut down and all the homes on the lake torn down, he'd do it in an instant.
Thanks for all your help.
Interesting. Hi, little doggy. Big doggy. Big doggy. It was Yogi, right? Yeah, Yogi. Alright, so let's look at the Roman numerals. Wrong click. Would it be history? No. There it is. Acquisition of land, construction of facilities, about Jeff Akers. Wow. Interesting. Alright, Roman numerals. This is not the same as the building, rather it is the date this construction was completed, 1939. Okay. Alright. L50, C is 100. I'm gonna write these down, at least the 100 and 1000. Wow. Alright, and I know the others because they're pretty basic. But I can explain to you guys. It's pretty simple, really. A lot of people thinks it's complicated, but it's not. See, this is pretty much a good example here. One slightly tricky adjustment when it came to writing 4s and 9s. In Roman numerals, anytime a letter representing a smaller number is placed in front of, to the left of, a letter representing a larger number, the smaller number is subtracted from the larger number, which is pretty easy to tell. For instance, instead of writing 4 as I, the Romans would write IV, which is 5 minus 1, which equals 4. Thus, the number 9 is expressed as IX. 19 is this, 49 this, 109 this. Because the C being next to 9, it would make it 100 plus 9, 109, and so on and so forth. 1949 would be MCM. The reason why is because the C is between the two M's, you're taking 100 off that 1,000. So 100 minus 1,000 minus 100 is 900. So it's pretty simple, really. Let's go. Wait, what's this? Interestingly, the numbering system the Romans developed, unlike the Arabic system which we use, had no symbol for 0. Oh, and one more thing. You may have noticed the 3 C's etched into the stone below the Roman numerals. This does not represent the number 300. Rather, the letters stand for the men that built the station, the Civilian Conservation Corps. See the poster on the wall beside you. Huh. Awesome. Awesome. Alright, so we are able to look at this, baby.
Let's see. Jeff said the envelope with the earliest date goes down in the front of each box.
Alright. Goes down in the front of each box. Okay, so this would be 1900. Yep. Alright, so 10, 5 plus 3, that's 8. That is 4. That is 11. Alright. 13. 14. L is 50. 50, 60? Is that 1960? Yeah, 1960. What is that? 1951? Alright, so 19, that's 25. 20, wait, yeah, 25.
Now that they're all sorted, I can do some reading.
What? It was that simple? Wow. I did not realize it was that simple. The other times I've had to do it like I went through. Wow. That's crazy. Alright, so let's see which ones we can observe. This one, which is 1941. We can observe this one, which is 1932 and 1925. And we can observe 1992. No, 1997. Hey, I was right. 1997. There's gold in them thar sandbars. I'm not gonna read this, but I will flip through it so that you guys can. It pretty much explains that M is doing her best to get the it's basically her explaining that she's doing her best to get these authentic antiques legally. But I still find it rather suspect. Alright, so this is what was it again? 41. War takes February 13, 1941. Michael Mickey Malone died yesterday of liver failure in the federal penitentiary at Leavenworth, Kansas at the age of 52. Born in Newark, New Jersey in 1889, Malone owned and operated Philadelphia Duds and Suds, a chain of laundromats and dry cleaners that allowed him to disguise and disperse the money he made as a racketeer. Compared to other gangsters, Malone kept a relatively low profile. His desire for privacy was enforced by 4 large dogs who never left his side. Although he was rumored to be involved in everything from running to gold heists, or rum running, to gold heists, he never spent a single night in jail until he was arrested in 1932 for tax evasion. Of all things, tax evasion. He was convicted the following year and was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison. He died just 2 months before he was scheduled to be released. Oh, that's sad. That's disappointing. Alright, so we looked at that one. Let's look at this one. Alright. Gangster nabbed at Moon Lake residence. Ow! Alright, today's edition, January 29th, 1932. Okay, so that is 012932. The day Mickey Malone was pinched. Mickey Malone arrested rights at his luxurious Moon Lake property. Alright. Mickey Malone, a Philadelphia businessman long considered by police to be a bootlegger and racketeer, finally felt the sting of the sword of justice when he was arrested this morning at his house on Moon Lake. Careful to keep Malone's attack dogs at bay, agents from the Internal Revenue Service and the Department of Justice raided the lakefront home at dawn, catching Malone and his henchmen completely by surprise. Within seconds, Malone was handcuffed. Wearing only an overcoat over his pajamas, he was swept out the door and into a waiting car. He was driven directly to Philadelphia, where he was jailed on charges of tax evasion and conspiracy to violate prohibition laws. Oh, the prohibition laws! The police had been wise to Malone's criminal activities for years, but 3 previous attempts to incarcerate him failed miserably when Malone's shadowy associates, through bribes and threats, forced prosecution witnesses to recant their stories. This time, federal agents intend to rely on ledgers and tax returns to prove their case. Since 1927, when it was determined that even income gained through illegal means is taxable. Authorities have been eager to use this ruling to make thugs like Malone pay for their crimes. Mickey Malone's been making us look like fools for a long time, declared Bureau of Investigation agent Waldo Matthias. Waldo? Isn't he the dude that has a grave in the cemetery? Uh-oh. But today the good guys finally got the last laugh. Malone loudly and repeatedly proclaimed that he'd done nothing wrong as he was led to jail. However, his protestations of innocence ended abruptly when, apparently not wishing to be photographed in his pajamas, Malone took a swing at a press photographer. He was quickly subdued. Protestations. I'm not saying that right. I suck. Alrighty. March 17, 1925. Is a gangster about to become Moon Lake's newest resident? Do you guys... You know what? I think I'll just go through... Oh, it's just the one. Yeah, I'll go ahead and read this. But I think after that I'm gonna... I don't know. I am waiting for something to sound off so I can stop recording. Because my throat's already getting parched. Alright. Rumors are flying thick and fast that Mickey Malone, a self-proclaimed captain of industry with far more ties to gamblers and smugglers than to legitimate businessmen, is building a house on the north shore of Moon Lake. The rumor started last June when the 10-acre property on which the house is being built was purchased by Philadelphia Duds and Suds, a company owned by Malone, which is widely believed to be merely a front for his criminal undertakings. Oh, that actually sounds like a good story. Secrecy has shrouded the project ever since construction began in October of last year. Foremen and a locked gate block the driveway leading to the site. Unauthorized persons and vehicles are summarily turned away. Day and night, security guards patrol the heavily wooded lakefront property. This is giving me ideas for my dream house. Several large trucks strategically parked obscure any and all views of the site from the water. Even the workmen have been sworn to silence. When asked if Mickey Malone was indeed building a home on Moon Lake, Waldo Mathias, the agent spearheading the Department of Justice's investigation of Malone's activities, had only this to say: "If he is, I suggest he live it up while he can, because the place we're going to be sending him to ain't on no beach, and he's going to be there for a real long time." Mr. Malone could not be reached for comment. Yikes. Okay. Well, unfortunately, that is actually it for me. I have to stop here. So, I hope you all have a great morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world. I am Sweet Rascally Rabbit, saying goodbye. Stay awesome and stay on your tube!